That's so cool. That's so cool. I love that. So after my last video where I was talking about fog and stuff like that, I found myself thinking a lot about like early builds of Minecraft and trying to figure out what made it feel so different than it does now. It's not like better or worse, it's just different, clearly. In those early builds of Minecraft, there wasn't really anything telling you what you were supposed to do. And that kind of made it feel like anything was possible. There were no expectations placed on you, no invisible checklists hovering over your head. And I think that's partially why the emptiness of the game stuck with me. There was no progression chart, no end game, no final bosses that you were clearly meant to defeat. It was just you, crafting table, some tools, and your imagination. It was quite literally a blank canvas. And it still can be today, but I think the difference now is how much you have to ignore in order to get to that blank canvas. Because while they aren't, in your face like a Skyrim quest marker, there are clear goals in Minecraft now. Get to the Nether, find a stronghold, go to the end, kill the dragon. These paths exist, and the presence of these paths, even if you don't follow them, changes how the game and how the world feels. I want to be clear up front. This is not an old games good, new games bad video. That's not what this is. This is really just me trying to understand what changed and why that change was so impactful to the way I approach the game. I have a few ideas that I want to talk through here, and maybe if you played early Minecraft 2, you'll feel the same way. A lot of people would describe early Minecraft as empty, but I don't think that's quite the right word for it. Emptiness implies that there was just totally nothing there. Like it was, an MS Paint canvas, but there was stuff there to do. There just weren't any goals. There were, of course, systems and tools and rules to the game, but the game never told you what it was there for. That's why I think a better word for old Minecraft would be undefined. There really was no explicit reason to play the game. There's no structured advancement paths, no narrative pressure, no story to experience. It simply existed, and you got to exist inside of it. And I think for a lot of us that was freeing in a way no other video game had ever been. Every game had a reason to play it. But for Minecraft, there was no reason, just creation. It reminds me of the first time you opened up something like Microsoft Paint as a kid and realized you could draw anything you wanted. There wasn't a prompt, there wasn't an assignment, there was no reason for you to be doing it. It was just a space waiting for you to decide what mattered. To really talk deeply about this topic, I think we need to make a distinction between authored meaning and emergent meaning. Most games, realistically, most media, are built around authored meaning. Their experiences are carefully shaped, paced, and delivered to you as a complete package. Games like The Last of Us and God of War or Red Dead Redemption. These are powerful because you surrender control to a story someone else is telling. It's kind of like watching a movie. Even in games like Skyrim or Fallout, that are open world and allow you to kind of do whatever you want, take whatever path you want, there are still pathways. There are still goals to be met, a story to be told. Someone had a story they wanted to tell in these games, a theme that they might have wanted to explore, and an emotional arc that they wanted you to experience. your role is to move through that experience, not reshape it. You don't have total control, but that's by design. You aren't meant to change the story, you're meant to receive it. I love that. I mean, my favorite games are completely authored experiences. Most entertainment works this way because the opposite is incredibly difficult to pull off without feeling completely aimless. Minecraft is unique in that it lives in the opposite space of most other media. Meaning isn't given to you, but you're given the tools to create it. The meaning of the game is whatever you decide is important. There are no quest markers telling you what matters, no characters telling you what comes next or where to go next, no moment where the game says, this is the point. Instead, you decide that, and that's really freeing. You're given a world that belongs entirely to you, and you get to shape it however you see fit. If you care about finding diamonds, then that's the meaning. If you want to build a fully functioning computer out of redstone that plays a smaller version of Minecraft in Minecraft, then you can do that. And if all you want is a quiet farm and a small house on a hill, then that's the meaning. Authored meaning is something you receive, but emergent meaning, what Minecraft has, is something that you claim. When no one tells you what's important, the act of choosing becomes the most important thing there is. Building something pointless isn't pointless because it's your decision. Those self-made goals stick with you in a way no checklist or achievement path ever really could, because the experience is entirely of your design. You didn't complete an objective, you decided that something was worth doing, and you did it. In a way, it feels closer to how a lot of us played as kids. We kind of just made up rules as we went, changing them when they stopped being fun, and never really worrying about whether we were doing it right. It was just about having fun and creating a game together. That sense of possibility was unlike any other game I had played. And of course, there are other very creative games that I played as a child, like SimCity 4, Roller Coaster Tycoon, and things like that. And while those games do give you a lot of freedom, they still have clear goals guiding you. There is money to make, efficiency to optimize, progress to track, terrible, horrible nightmare coasters to make to torture these little people in your computer, just girly things. In those early, foggy, blocky hills of Minecraft, there was just you, your tools, and whatever you wanted to do next. And that was the meaning, whatever you wanted to do. Over time, Minecraft gained features that defined it more. We got villages with NPCs, we got structures, progression systems, dungeons, things like that. All these things gently, and sometimes not so gently, tell you what to do next. None of it is bad. It made the game accessible to a wider audience and gave us a lot of genuinely fun things to play with. I love the challenge dungeons, or whatever they're called. They're really cool. I haven't finished one, but they are fun to play around in. But it also kind of shifted the central question of the game from what do I want to do to what should I be doing? You're still free to do anything you want, but now doing that requires ignoring things. You start building and, you stumble across a village or an abandoned mine shaft or a ruined portal, and every time there's a small voice that says, ooh, I should see what's in there, or I should go there next, I should check that out. There is now meaning and paths being offered to you by the game. It's easy to ignore. You can build your giant castle or your 1-to-1 scale replica of Barad-dûr, but you do have to actively ignore things now, and I think that's the change. You can see something similar happen with the Backrooms. At first, it was just a single image. There was no canon, there were no rules, just an empty space and your imagination. And then, as it got explained, there was less room for you inside of it. your interpretations and your feelings about that space started to matter less once you knew which levels existed, what entities were there, and what could probably come next. Early on, the Backrooms were scary in the way that looking into space is scary. There's no meaning, and there's no intention, and there's really no acknowledgement of your presence. It's not so much that you shouldn't be there, it's more just that nothing is there to care that you're there. And that was very unsettling. In that way, the Backrooms were very analogous to space itself, vast, indifferent, and uninterested in you. When we added rules and lore and monsters, it stayed scary, just in a different way. The unknown became known, and that took something away. I want to clear up also, this is not an argument against definition. I love linear stories. Some stories need structure, some worlds need endings. But definition always comes with a trade. Some worlds are meant to be understood, while others need to be inhabited. I don't think that many games could pull off what early Minecraft did, and I don't think that they should try. It might have been a once-in-a-lifetime thing, a perfect alignment of systems, timing, and player expectations. Another game trying to do the same thing today would probably just end up feeling flat or boring. There was a very quiet charm in old Minecraft, and I don't think it should be replicated. Every story has its own best way to be told, and the stories in old Minecraft were ours to tell. And we did. When I think about, early Minecraft and why it stayed with me, it's not really because of what I built. It's because of how it felt to exist in that world. This wide open, uncertain, quiet space. It felt like a space that trusted me to decide what mattered, because nothing else did. And when there's no inherent meaning in something, we get to choose what has meaning. And that choice, the act of deciding what matters, that's the freedom that something like old Minecraft offered us. So, I don't want you to come away from this video thinking that I think that new Minecraft is not good or they made it worse by adding these things. I still play so much Minecraft. I've got mod packs that add RPG systems to it, and they're all fun in their own way. And I think old Minecraft sticks with me as a loss because I know that we can't do something like that again. That world came at a time that made sense in our real world. So many games now, have to achieve certain things for people to enjoy them or for them to make the shareholders happy, shit like that. So I don't think that something like Minecraft could or should ever be made again, really. I think it was just one of those things like, Toonami or McDonald's places that were really cool when they were here, but they don't really have space in the world today. If you're still here, I hope you'll like and comment and subscribe and all that stuff. I've got another video that I'm planning on working on after this one. It'll be another unsung soundtracks while I work on another larger video essay kind of like this one. So I hope you'll hang around, and if you haven't, I hope you'll watch my older videos. I think they're pretty good, and you can get shocked by how much hair I cut off. So that could be fun. Anyway, if you're still here, thank you.